What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another lesson. It's been a minute since I did the last lesson, but it's been a very busy kind of lead up to the end of the year with the band that I play in. So thank you guys for your patience. If you follow me on Instagram, TikTok, and I guess here on YouTube too, I've started doing shorts as well, where I'm going to be doing little short snippets of lessons, but that doesn't mean I'm stopping these full-length lessons that you guys are looking for. So today's lesson, we're going to be taking a look at the band Feel, Goodbye Virginia. Fantastic song. It just came out on their their debut EP that they released earlier in November, and just thoroughly impressed with what these guys have put out and what they're doing in the scene. So if you haven't checked them out, definitely do so. Without any further ado, let's just get right into this tune. So obviously it's played on a 12 string. I'm using my home built double neck, the Horizon's Edge 1275. If you haven't seen it, I put a build video in my YouTube channel. Go check that out. It shows me going through the whole process of putting it together, designing it. Well, not designing it. It's a kit guitar, but just staining it, finishing it, putting it all together. So 12 string, and your tuning is going to be open G. So D here, G, D, G, B, and then D. And that's your tuning right there. For this lesson, I gotta say, I'm using the Universal Audio Lion. I've been using that in all my videos and for the past more than that, for the past half a year, I'd say, almost a year. Yeah, it's phenomenal pedal. I use it when I tour. It emulates a Plexi amplifier, and I couldn't be happier with it. So that's what I'm using here. And let's get right into it. So the song is gonna start like this. So your first chord is going to be on your 9th fret D string, open G, 8th fret B, and 9th fret E. And the fingering there is 2nd on the 9th, 1st on the 8th, and 3rd on the 9th of the E. And then your next chord is going to be 9th fret D, open G, 9th fret B, and E. And I'm using my last 3 fingers for that. My first finger is free. So then you slide that same chord position down 2 frets, and then you play the bottom half of a C chord here, essentially. So 2nd fret a D string, open G, and 1st fret B with an open E. And you can add that G on the bottom too. And then your strumming here will be down, up, 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 down. And then that repeats. And now on the 4th time here, you play the first 2 chords the same way you did before. And then the 3rd chord, you're going to actually go back to your G position that you started on. So this very first chord, 9th fret D, open G, 8th fret B. And you're going to take off the 9th fret of your E string. You're just going to mute that for this time. Just like that. And that covers your intro. So try and get that one down, and then we'll see you in the next clip here for the verse riff. So in your verse here, it's going to be a little bit easier than that intro. The intro was a lot of chorded stuff, and the main part of the verse here is just kind of focusing on one string, and everything else is open. That's the beauty of open tuning, is you can just play open strings and it'll play your chord for you. So going into it, you're going to go to your 5th fret of your E string, and you're going to use your pinky there because it's going to be a pull off. So you'll pull off to your 2nd fret E. So it'll be a full chord strum from your A string down. So you strum, pull off, and then an open E, and then open B. Now this next strum is going to be from your A string again, down. And you're going to strum the whole chord, and then you're going to hammer on to 2nd fret D string and 1st fret B. So just like this. just like that. And then you repeat. And then repeat one more time. Now, this time, when you hammer on, you downstroke on your second fret of your D, and then your upstroke is on your first fret of your B, and then you take that off and you strum it again. So just like this. And then you get into a little bit of a stretch. So you'll play your second fret A string twice. Then your pinky will come down on the fourth fret of the E string. And then you play the open B. And then your second fret A again. And then you finish on the second fret of your G string. And the reason I say it's a stretch is because you want to try and keep your pinky held so the whole chord rings out. Now, if it's too much of a stretch, it's too uncomfortable, you can't take it off. It's not going to be a huge difference, but if you really want that nice, smooth, held chord, then you want to hold everything down. And now you're going to reach with your third finger to your fourth fret E string. So you'll do like a little half step bend there. And then back to that C chord position. So second fret D, open G, first fret B. And then open chord. And then you move that position up 2 frets. So now you're playing fourth fret D, open G, and third fret B. So just like this. And now arguably the hardest part of the verse is because you have to hybrid pick. Unless you can put your pick in your mouth or off to the side or conceal it, then you can finger pick that. That works just as well. So to get into it, second fret D string with your first finger and fourth fret E string with your pinky, because you're going to slide up to your fifth. So you play them together. You don't play anything else in between. This is just the 2 notes. So you play, and then your pinky slides from fourth to fifth fret. Now, next note, your first finger comes off, open D, and then you're back on your fourth fret with your pinky on your E string. So now this next chord, fourth fret A string and third fret B string. And then your separate pluck will be the fourth fret of your E. And then the last part of this little section here is fifth fret A, fifth fret B, and I'm also catching the open G there with my strum. So you can hear those ringing out a little bit. So all together. And then it goes into the chorus. So this part in the beginning is relatively easy. That last part with the finger picking, make sure you get that down smoothly because it's an important transition to go into the chorus. So we'll see you in the next clip. So now we're going to take a look at the chorus here. So starting off, you're just going to have a plain old open chord from the A string down. Make sure you're only doing it from the A string down for the majority of these, because that D on the bottom, it just adds an unnecessary kind of note to the chord that muddies it more than it needs to be. So make sure you're just going from your A string down. So your chord. And then on the upstroke, you're going to hit that C chord position that we were looking at. Second fret D, open G, and first fret B. So. And then downstroke, same chord. Back to open. Then downstroke, back to the C chord. Then upstroke, open. And now you're going to play open D, second fret D, third fret D, and then third fret E string, and then second fret D, then third fret E, open D, then back to your third fret E. So then to your 5th fret A, then back to your 3rd fret E, and then 5th A, 4th A, 2nd A, open A. So it's kind of like this alternating back and forth. And then a little bit of the end of the scale. So. Then you go back into your G chord, your open G. Upstroke to your C. Then you play a downstroke on your C chord. Upstroke, and you move that up 2 frets. Same position as we did before. So down, up, down. And the third down, or the third strum, which will be a down, is back to your open G. So C. It's like a variation on the D chord, and then an open G. So, like that. And then you're going to play a D major chord. Now, it's not your standard D major chord position because it's a different tuning. So, 2nd fret G, 3rd fret B, and 4th fret E. And make sure you're only playing your D string down there, because if you play your A string, it's going to add a note that doesn't belong. And you heard it there, I hit it by accident. So 3 downstrokes for this. So your open D, 2nd fret D, 3rd fret D, 3rd fret B, and then open E. So it's the same note, but it's adding the extra sonic value to the chord. So 3rd fret, as I said, D, 3rd fret B, and open E. The next part of the chord is 2nd fret D, 3rd fret B, open E. And then you go 5th fret A, 2nd fret A, and then open A. And then it goes right back into that intro chord progression. So you skip the first chord this time, but then you go through the rest of it as you did in the beginning. So that brings us to the end of the YouTube portion of this lesson. If you guys are new here and don't know, I do have a Patreon page. So I post half the lesson here on YouTube for you guys to just get a feel for how I teach and learn the majority of what you need to know for these songs. And then if you like what you see, it's a monthly fee of $4.50 to be part of my Patreon. And it just helps support the work that I'm doing here and help me make it look better. If you haven't noticed, I've kind of shifted around my studio. I'm in a different spot, playing with lighting a little bit, making it look more professional. And what Patreon does is it helps me continue to upgrade the gear that I'm using and get lights so that I can make it look better. And so it just helps support me a little more than being a small creator on YouTube, because unless you're millions of subscribers on YouTube, it's not really sustainable income to keep getting the channel better. So my Patreon is linked down in the description box below. The full lesson will be there, just as in depth as I go on here, and consider this like a little bit of a trial run. And if you like it and you're vibing with what I'm teaching, Patreon's there. You can cancel at any time. It's a monthly pay as you go every month. So yeah, check that out. And I've got plenty of other lessons on there as well, along with supplementary tabs for some songs that I put on there as a little bit of a bonus for people who are there. So feel free to check that out. If you haven't already, check out my band, The Definitive. We're playing plenty of shows. We're going to put some new music out in the new year. We're really excited about it. And yeah, if you're a rock fan in general, we're doing rock music with a little bit of a funk twist. I think you guys might enjoy it. So if you're just sticking on YouTube, I appreciate you guys being here. And I hope that you've been able to learn a lot from this lesson and any other lessons that you watch here on my channel. And until next time, keep on rocking.